Do you think we've reached peak saturation on personalization from an ads perspective? And could you use that data to project maybe that forward-looking version of where people would be, if that aspiration for ads as, aspirational, not just potential ready for today?
I don't think we're anywhere close to peak saturation, and here's why. Any company that is advertising based on these aspirations, based on the necessity of how Meta has set up their ad platform and broad-based targeting, et cetera, they are ostensibly taking a somewhat of a lowest common denominator approach and largely making those personalized ads or these content personalized ads based on things that they've seen you do or things that they're guessing about within the
Yeah.
four walls of even Meta's ecosystem.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Ad Podcast, coming to you from Shop Talk here in Vegas. We've got Noah Friedman, who is the co-founder of Outer Signal. He's also my savior. He just gave me a nicotine pouch when I left mine all in the hotel room. So we are set. We are making things happen.
Make it happen indeed. Yeah, we got to keep you. We got to
Let's
keep you
go.
flowing
Let's
on
go.
Shop Talk marathons. Can't be without your Lucy.
Let's go. So Noah, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me about Outer Signal and
Sure.
what brought you to Shop Talk.
Yeah, this is our first Shop Talk, which is
Oh,
super
killer.
exciting.
Okay, nice. What do you think?
I think it's a marathon. I think
Yeah.
it's a spectacle. I think it's a deeply impressive enterprise. The
Yeah.
scale it's operating. I've been doing a lot of shows in Vegas. This one's definitely impressive. They do a good job. Really high caliber people. You know, we have a booth here.
Oh, nice.
And the quick background. So I've been a long time founder and investor. Outer Signal is the company perhaps that I'm most excited.
Okay.
I'm super
That's
biased.
awesome, man. Congrats.
We have built an end-to-end customer intelligence and personalization for
Wow.
any business selling direct to consumer. When someone checks out on your Shopify, what do you know about them? Their name, their email, their address. That's it. Outer Signal will give you a comprehensive profile and bio on every single person, age, gender, occupation, property value, social media following, persona analysis, which means really for the first time ever, and I don't say that lightly, consumer companies can market to the human being, not just the order, right? So I kind of give the example of Noah buys from AG1 or Grazi Wine or Hexplan, and Noah's mother buys from those same places. Historically, the only thing to personalize on was what our journey was within the four wall, right? Noah clicked on these SKUs and he bought these SKUs and he sat on this game that long. That's just nothing that's going on. So if you're just personalizing off of what happens within the four walls of a brand's ecosystem,
Yeah,
you're going to
especially
have
their
things,
DTC site.
right? You're going to have
Those
things like
brands
Noah's
ecosystem.
mother and Noah getting the same email. And they're very different people. And so all of this context that the human being behind the order has historically been by necessity neglected in personalization. No one had the ability to do anything. So we think we've got something. No, we know we've got something very revolutionary. It's the rocket ship. So we're here at Shop Talk, activating, meeting current and potential customers, making friends, checking in, some babies, and telling the world we're here to play a new thing.
I love it, man. So when you talk about personalization, you've talked a lot about email. Is it mainly in the email channel, or are you taking this data and creating other personalization?
We look at it.
Uh,
We look at it across any touch point that you have with your consumer, whether that's native in app, whether that's SMS, whether that's email, whether that's Meta, whether that's direct mail, in person.
So also on social as well.
Also on social, absolutely, right? You know, whether it's building lookalikes through Meta or using our personas to inform much better, more specific, hyper-contextualized creative based on who the customer is. We look at Outer Signal as this intelligence layer that plugs and sits in between what consumers do within your four walls brand and who they are as the world. So the way our brands are using it, the way we're building the product platform is that every touch point that a brand has with a consumer should be personalized. And Outer Signals are the only company that can allow you to personalize not on what they've done within the ecosystem, but who they are as a human being to create that value.
Yeah, that's really cool. So let's talk about the ad channels, specifically within social a little bit. So I've been having some conversations with brand marketers about the idea of personalization. It's been the rage, even before the AI rage. Personalization was probably the last hype cycle.
Sure.
I think it's incredibly powerful, but sometimes people want to see ads that are aspirational. It's not always about who they are, where they are in life today.
Sure.
It's about where they want to go.
Sure.
Right. So, for instance, I get a lot of advertisements for retirement. Right? That's money.
Sure.
The things that they show me is they show me how I might look at 10 years. Now I'm looking, sitting down with my wife about to go on the RV tour that we want to go on. And we golf in every city in America, or they show me ads of, me buying my sailboat that I know that I would buy at some point.
Sure.
So, do you think we've reached peak saturation on personalization from an ads perspective? And could you use that data to project maybe that forward looking version of where people would be, if that aspiration would be, ads as, aspirational, not just potential for today?
I don't think we're anywhere close to peak saturation, and here's why. Any company that is advertising based on these aspirations, based on the necessity of how Meta has set up their ad platform and broad-based targeting, et cetera, they are ostensibly taking a somewhat of a lowest common denominator approach and largely making those personalized ads or these content personalized ads based on things that they've seen you do or things that they're guessing about within the four walls of even Meta's ecosystem.
Like my wife saw a ad of my son in a book around dinosaurs, and she bought it in a heartbeat. Right? It was like, oh, my son, this is cool. It's an AI personalized book for my son, and he loves dinosaurs, so that's like that worked really well.
Look, I think what AI unlocks is the ability to generate infinite amounts of creative permutations, right? Like it was a lot harder even a year ago, or even 3 months ago, for any brand to say, "Hey, we've got our core USPs that we don't want to do supplements versus you've got USPs around strength and getting stronger, and
Got your
USPs around
filler,
gaining muscle
essentially.
density, etc."
Yeah.
The issue is that if you're just taking that personalization approach to say, let's push aspirational messages within each of these USPs and not contextualizing on based on who a consumer is, you're still largely flying high. And so what I would posit is to say, I go back to the example of myself and my mother. We both may buy the same protein, right? The reason that I buy the protein and the message and the aspirational nuance, even within my use case of buying protein, is going to be much more anchored in personally guys and gals getting
bulking
jacked,
up, and
you're
your mom
getting
might be thinking
strong,
about
and
your
then
bone density.
exact. And so aspiration is still just a vertical within this concept.
It's not
of
as
how it
important
is
as
visible.
utilitarian.
Yeah, and I also think it just comes down to like who is the individual customer as a person, right? Like an aspirational advertising for me that is about, if you just take a protein brand or supplements business or any type of company, it's okay, I want to build an aspirational ad. If they're running an aspirational ad about bone density and aging gracefully and it's aspirational and it's landing on the consumer who doesn't care about any of these things because they're 30 years old, it's all a wash. And so to me, it continues to come back to how do you actually build the right creative that is landing on the right consumer? And what AI is unlocking is the ability to generate infinite amount of communication so that Noah and Dylan ostensibly could have, we could be in the same persona bucket, we could same customer, or even less individually when they care slightly that. These businesses know these things on individual level. Like when we focus on use so much sleep over unlocking brands, I think it opens up an entirely new paradigm. So I don't think we're anywhere close to saturation. So
That's interesting. A lot of people have been using graders or UGC as the way to create personalized creative because they want to spin up quickly an ad or creative that looks and feels like a particular segment. Are you using that data to kind of inform the influencer UGC strategy
yeah,
at all?
our hot take on influencer and UPC more broadly is that any brand that is at any level of scale, even small ones, has a gold mine of consumers who have appreciated audiences already shopping. So one of the things out
Going
of
to their
the unlocks is to say, look, across your entire customer base, brand A, how many people do you have who have over 5, 50, 100,000 followers on social media? The not going to really have to how good you until you have out of single channel. So 100%, we could say, okay, how many, every time a customer orders who has one X followers, send a notification, onboard them to the program. That's really powerful because the historical way of doing things, which of course works in some incredibly powerful channel, is to say, hey, let's go out into the world and recruit in a transactional mechanism people who may or may not have even heard of our business.
Yeah.
Send them product. They have to educate themselves. They're not authentic users. Or you say, look, what's either the combined or individual following people who already shop. And so if you think about that on an authenticity of creative level and even a CPM basis to say if you're activating your own customers who have followings through customized workflows and automatic triggers that allow these people who have followings to be nurtured to create their own content and be part of the program, you've already been paid for these, like you've already gotten money from these customers. They are your customers. So the CPM calculus gets crazy because you're not paying for the impression as much as you're saying, you've already paid me. And how can I engage my existing users?
Yeah, the statistics are if you invite somebody into some kind of affiliate network or an ambassador program, they end up spending 45% more with your brand. Even if you're not paying, you're just giving discounts and free product, merch, stuff like that.
It all comes down to the human loving connection brand technically. I would posit that the best branding in the world, if you look at a Nike or many of the e-com businesses that are talking about, they have a deeply human connection with in my opinion. And having a deeply human connection is on that primary right? And I think that most businesses, out of habit and historical necessity, market to their customers as a list. And they say, we have 842,000 customers. We segment our RFM and we send them an email about Mother's Day and Father's Day and Black Friday and all these things, not recognizing or not stopping. Hey, these are actually human beings. I should talk to Bill as a person. There's no one who's
Talk to them like a text versus like a, form long. I love it. Okay. So let's talk about your strategy here at Shop Talk. So first time here, you guys are going big with a booth. That's
not as big as some of the booths.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a major investment for a first time. A lot of people come here and do the trade show just do the meetings and stuff like that the first time. So you got a booth, doing any thought leadership or anything above and beyond the booth?
We've got a bunch of one-on-one meetings set up. He hosted a dinner on Monday night. I attended to see everything else. We'll see how we did in this evening. The first sponsoring, the first pilot with the house. So we're activating across the board. The strategy here is just be visible, be targeted, and make sure it's saying why and saying it's really gratifying to see how many come up to our booth and say, hey, we looked at the platform already, or we heard about you, seen about you, we want to happen. So when you're in a hyperscale mode like us, growing this quickly, that's something that you've got to be heading for. I think it's just important to show our presence and be clear that we've got so many people from our ecosystem descending on the one and only Las Vegas if Blue is to show up.
Yeah, I love it. Any thought leadership? Are you doing any talks or
Doing this talk?
Like hey, well, this is thought leadership.
Maybe
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So, anything are you going and check? Is there anything from a content perspective that you're actually excited to check out? Any keynotes or people who want to see what their thinking is?
There's a couple of our customers who I've seen have keynotes and talks that I'm going to go try to sit in on. Frankly, our booth is so busy that I just see live at the triaging, making sure we're at the booth or taking these one-on-one meetings. Yeah, I feel like at these conferences, the speeches and the talks can always get a couple glimmers of really interesting insights, but the real meat, and I'm sure that they see here today, was the real meat of this thing is hard to have. Even as a piece for a lot of things, it comes down to who are you being on and off the field, right? Who are the belly to belly shakes and moves? Obviously, I think that this guy is some person like that style. So to be here with such great people is gigantic babies. What do you think?
I love it. Do you think of things like Shop Talk as an opportunity to create content as well? And you imagine you guys have to fill your own funnel with personalized content because people buy from people, they don't buy from them.
Yeah.
How important is Shop Talk as a opportunity for you guys to think about your own content pipeline?
Yeah, it's a good point. We candidly have not focused too much on our own organic social channels in terms of content. Yeah, but we are focusing on our customer that we're here. We are capturing some content on the belief and it across LinkedIn and our own personal channels. We have a pretty aggressive page of team members posting to see on LinkedIn to capture as an individual. You didn't get your personalization business. We're allowed to profile that, so I think we try to treat it off and say, look, we're here, we're proud of it, we're doing great things. That's not sure what the world hears about it. Gary.
I love it. Awesome, man. Well, if folks at home want to connect with you, follow your thinking, or learn more about your company, where do you want to send folks?
Outersignal.com. My email is noah@outersignal. You can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, or Instagram. Hit me up. We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks. I appreciate you.
Cheers.